Welcome to episode 1 of Download Review. Today we'll be going over Raiden Legacy, a compilation of Raiden shoot-'em-up titles published by .nu. The first game that we'll go into is the original Raiden, first released to the arcades in 1990 and distributed in the US by Fabtech. Before you begin one of the games on this compilation, you have a few options that you can tweak to your liking, like video mode. You can choose to have either a windowed mode or full screen mode. I prefer the full screen mode myself, as it takes up all the real estate of whatever mobile device you were playing on. However, windowed mode has the advantage of leaving some space beneath the window where you can control the game with your fingers without completely obstructing the view with your hand. This is one of the more difficult 1990 shooters, and part of the reason for that is because when you lose a credit and then continue, you don't simply pick up where you left off, but are rather rolled back to a previous checkpoint in the stage, beginning with your basic weapon. Oftentimes, spawning back with your basic weapon doesn't give you a chance to power up before you are hit with an onslaught of more difficult enemies that require many more shots from your basic fire. Raiden is enjoyable, but be prepared to be frustrated. Bullets can literally come from anywhere on the screen. They really love to throw little tanks that sneak up behind you. And if you're playing with your finger like I am for this review, you may not see it because part of your hand is blocking the view. Oh well. At least when you die, your ship blows up in fragments to take out enemies with you. If you have a Bluetooth controller or OTG adapter and USB controller, then this may mitigate these frustrations. Although, if you watch my previous video in the Another Playthrough series, then you'll see I didn't fare much better with a Bluetooth controller. This particular title in the compilation is definitely my least favorite one, but still a good time. Now, back into the menu, you have Arcade, Mission, and Training. Arcade mode is the main one. However, if you unlock a stage in the arcade game, now you have access to it in Mission and Training. When you jump into Mission mode, you can begin at that level versus having to begin at level 1 every time. Training mode gives you unlimited continues to keep trying to hone your skills. Now the next game coming up is Raiden Fighters. The Raiden Fighters series is a spin-off of the main Raiden series. The main Raiden series has seen 5 installments so far, while Raiden Fighters has had 3. Raiden Fighters is a fairly big departure in terms of having a more modern arcade shoot-'em-up feel, including the fact that when you exhaust credit, you pick up right where you left off. This game hit the arcades in 1996. It was developed again by Seibu Kaihatsu. Hopefully, I didn't butcher that name too bad. 6 years between titles really shows in terms of graphics and sound. This game's pulsing soundtrack immediately gets into the proceedings to gleefully blow up every enemy on screen. Here, have a listen. Although this game seems a bit more manageable in difficulty, it certainly is no pushover. At the beginning, you are given a basic map of your first mission, which encompasses the first 3 levels. There are 3 missions in all, and 7 levels overall. With its overpowered weapons, innovative bosses for the time, its patterned sprays of bullets flying around the screen to dodge, I would say that this is a highly recommended title for any shoot-'em-up fan. Okay, so next we have Raiden Fighters 2, Operation Helldive. This is largely more of the same as the first Raiden Fighters, but I certainly don't see that being a bad thing. This game was released in the arcade in 1997, and during that time, it does seem that they spruced up the effects and graphics a bit. So yeah, in my eyes, this is what a successful sequel is all about. I have to say that this entry is definitely my favorite in the Raiden Legacy compilation. Speaking of the compilation, this app can be found on Android, which I am demonstrating now, iOS, and Steam. Okay, going back into Raiden Fighters 2. This game features several planes to choose from when you start the game. They all have different attributes and abilities. Some of them have charge shots that will unleash screen-clearing lasers or a barrage of missiles. Additionally, every ship has a different size hitbox. Of course, the smaller the hitbox, the less likely that you will be shot down. On top of that, there are scoring opportunities by using a technique called grazing. If a bullet goes through your plane, but doesn't strike your hitbox, you accumulate more points. You can also accumulate several points by collecting medals on the screen. If you meet certain requirements, the medals will increase in score with every pickup. However, if a medal escapes you, then it resets back down. Alright, we're coming on the last game on this compilation. This is Raiden Fighters Jet, released to the arcade in 1998. Now, for the last two games, you have probably watched the plane pick up floating S power-ups that are left behind by shooting down certain enemies. These are slave drones, little fighters that fight alongside you. Now, things have changed up in this game a little. You will notice that the levels are called simulated missions. So the level progression here is all based on how well you do. If you do well, the next level will be a higher number. If not, the level will drop some digits. Additionally, you can only get to the real mission by playing extremely well and not continuing. Mission mode, here I come. You may have also noticed that in this entry and earlier entries that there are little messages that pop up on the screen like quick shot, which is destroying a large enemy before it has a chance to fire. Then, destroyed at a time, which is destroying sets of enemies within a 1 second time frame. Discover the Myclip. The Myclip is Saibu Kahatsu's mascot and appears in several of their other games. Basically, it releases up to 9 medals each time it's shot, granting 100,000 points in the end. Then, there's Discover the Fairy or Fairies. Each fairy picked up is worth 100,000 points. Every fairy killed is only worth 10, so don't kill the fairy, although I accidentally do it at 3. Okay, before signing off, let's talk a little about the medals in this game. The scoring has changed in the last few entries. These medals start off as dual shapes. Airborne medals, the ones that float around, will follow one of the slaves or player's plane and carry the payload. When these metals come in contact with each other, they will spun. They grow larger and increase the point value. They start up at 100 points and max out at 2,048,000 points. There are also gold medals that are worth 10,000 to 100,000 points. And one useful item. To drop one, the score multiplier. Well, that's the end for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up.